Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 pro replay cast. We have got ourselves two of the most exciting Korean players to watch, I'll say, in the current era of Starcraft 2. We're on the map Romanticide. It's going to be a Terran taking on a Protoss. There's our Terran in the top left. It is none other than ByuN. ByuNbelievable. The incredible Terran player known as Micro Jackson, with his absurdly high APM, his incredible attention to individual units, to a level that some people would say is almost impossible. And when you watch ByuN's play, you can really say, is he really doing that? As other players just don't sometimes. Taking on ByuN, though, is the guy who's rising up real quick. He is an incredibly talented up-and-coming Protoss, although it's not like he's up-and-coming at this point. He's up. He's on the up, and he's been taking names. There's not really a player you'd say that he can't beat. He's caused some upsets lately, that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, Zoun, I believe it's actually pronounced Zoun. Sort of like the Emperor. That's what I've read. Honestly, it would have been easier for me just not to cast him because I will make mistakes, but yeah. Anyway, Zoun, an incredible player representing Alpha X. And the reason why I said that these two players are some of the most exciting players to watch is because you never know how well they're going to do. Like ByuN, sometimes he literally looks like the best player in the world. Other days, when he's having an off day, maybe his wrists are bugging him, not so much. Same goes for Zoun. Some days he's looking like the best player in the world, like looking really good and being like, wow, this guy's awesome. Other days you see that maybe he still has a ways to go as far as his confidence and stuff, or just his his confidence and his finesse is the word I'll use. That being said, both incredibly good players. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoy this kind of content, as we see that third CC going up for ByuN. So let's try and go for 3 likes on this video. Since we got a 3 CC from ByuN, it generally means it's gonna be a longer game. And that is honestly one of my favorite developments in StarCraft 2, the meta in the past few years. I'd say the past 2 years. Probably not much more than that. The Terrans have become way more confident expanding. In the past, it was cheese. But the good Terrans, the upper echelon, have got more confident playing macro games against Protoss players. And that's really exciting, as it basically means that we get a lot longer games. Like, in the past, it would be Terran goes for double gas off one base. It's like, okay, what kind of cheese are they going to do? Is it going to work? Is it not going to? That's not the case anymore. There's a lot more room for Terran players to wiggle around economically these days, at least for the better Terran players. Still, it does seem that at not the highest level of play, that Protoss is still pretty punishing for Terrans who try and go into the macro game. That's just the nature of the unit design and everything. Someone like ByuN, not likely to eat a big disruptor hit or some nasty Psy Storms, all the while be dropping the Protoss over a million places. Other lower Terrans are gonna eat those disruptor hits. And that is why it's a bit interesting, the whole discussion of how many Protoss there's in Grandmaster League and such, as it's like, yeah, Protoss is overrepresented, probably, as we have the numbers on that. But then at the same time, it's like, guys like the top Terrans are still beating the top Protoss. And that's always been a question of how Blizzard should balance. But enough of that. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Join the Discord, which is linked in the description, and consider becoming a member if you do enjoy these casts. It's not really too advertised, but there is various perks you can get if you are a member. Like, I'll cast one of your games or something, or we'll play some games, that kind of thing. But yeah, let's take a look here. We have got a Prism moving out for Zoun. He's got Blink on the way. We check how many gates he's got. He's got 4 gates, no third Nexus just yet. They're going to be going for the aggressive play. And this is where it gets a little hairy for the Terran. When you go for a 3CC, it's like, oh no, the Protoss is coming in with the Blink Stalkers. But ByuN's not going to be like, oh, there's no way I could have seen this coming, because this kind of build is incredibly common by Protoss. So ByuN wouldn't go for this 3cc build, most likely, if he thought this was just going to be an auto death. Of course, if the Protoss plays it exceptionally well with incredible blink or catches the Terran off guard, then there is room for the Protoss to potentially get a cheeky win or something, but that's not likely going to happen this game. We see ByuN buying time till his stim is done. Eventually he'll be able to push these stalkers back. Zoun is going to nickel and dime him here, but medivacs are already on the way. If ByuN really needs to, he'll pull some SCVs, and there he actually goes, pulling a few. Sometimes Terrans won't do that, and it'll cost him a few extra bio units in the process, but Zoun is even sniffing this out. He saw the stim. He's like, yeah, okay, I'm probably not going to break ByuN. His stalkers will go in one more time, at least, I think, though. And oh my god, he's actually just going to go for that third CC. ByuN needs to stim on top of those stalkers yesterday. Oh, what a super late reaction by ByuN. Not expecting the Protoss to get his third command center, but he does. Zoun snipes ByuN's third base, and all of a sudden has got all the damage he needs to be done there. That is huge for the Protoss. Oh my god, what a colossal mistake by ByuN. That is unacceptable by the Terran player, to let a mistake like that happen. I know I'm being hard on ByuN here, guys, but like, how many volleys was that? 4 or 5 volleys off on that command center by the stalkers before ByuN reacted to be like, oh, he's actually trying to kill that. And that's one of those interesting StarCraft 2 interactions that occur. Sometimes odd plays or odd builds work because your opponent sort of runs the mental math and picks the logical path and doesn't expect you to deviate from it. ByuN did not expect Zoun to actually just kill the command center there. You figured he was going to try and bait out his bio, then nickel and dime him, pick off a few units. But in reality, Zoun's like, oh, you know what? I can actually just kill that base. And ByuN is dragging his feet too much. So it's like, yeah, that's actually going to be a kill. Once again, ByuN's attempt at the third base gets shut down. We see Zoun having a recall, though, now, as ByuN went for a double medivac drop. But there's the recall, there's the battery. That's the lethal Nexus combo there for Protoss defense. Going for a battery overcharge with a recall. It's just like, oh my god, that's so strong. 17 probes did die, though, as Zoun did actually pull the probes against the bio, as opposed to just retreating. That's an interesting decision there. And all of a sudden, that much damage really pulls ByuN back into this game. We'll see how well Zoun's going to be able to replace these units. Once again, he's delaying the third command center, so both players really taking a beating this game. ByuN, of course, with a high bio presence, is going to be going for more plays later on, likely. More drops and that kind of thing. Notable for ByuN is that he's yet to get combat shield. Seemingly has forgotten to research that. It's not like Terran willingly skips that. So ByuN going to want to get combat shield on the way as soon as he realizes it. A positive that is going for ByuN, though, even though he has forgot that combat shield, he's got a 1-1 upgrade lead for at least the next 2 minutes. Minus some chrono boost time, maybe. So he's got that room to play with his bio. It's going to be extra strong when he does go for a play, but we do see Zoun got a pylon in position to block, to prevent that drop, basically letting the cat out of the bag. So we see Zoun going to be getting on top of this army. He's got to be careful stepping out. This is just one Colossus and some Stalkers. ByuN, though, without combat shield, will have his Marines just be shredded. Maybe he could have taken that fight with combat shield against us, and he's going to try and take the fight regardless. But his trade would have been so much better there if he had combat shield. He's got it on the way now, but that's another little thing. That's a mistake that ByuN made that he probably shouldn't have. Losing his third, forgetting combat shield, a couple of mistakes. Of course, Zoun hasn't been playing perfect either, and that's why we love watching these guys. They're nice, scrappy games. I do like the way things are trending for the Protoss, though. I mean, ByuN's attack forward was shut down. Zoun's sitting on 3 bases pretty comfortably. He's got that +1 attack that was actually... Okay, it's actually still on the way. There we go. He's got an extra forge on the way, so he'll be able to start catching up in that upgrade. In those upgrades, and as we take a look right now, there is Stalkers defending the natural for Zoun. There's his nice bio army at his third. Unless ByuN pulls off a real sneaky play, I don't see this working out. And yeah, ByuN has to back out, loses a full medivac in the process. Real painful loss there for the Terran. And Zoun, as long as he doesn't just move out to try and take a 4th base, he's got basically no vulnerabilities. The Protoss should not take any damage, at least until he has expanded to a 4th base, which naturally pulls him more open. So we do see Zoun with a probe on this 4th base location. Going to try and take that eventually. All the while, ByuN starting to make Vikings. Able to keep that production going. He's got his own 4th base on the way. Zoun doesn't see this. If he saw this, he'd definitely have his 4th on the way already, but now we see a Zealot moving out on the map. A couple of Zealots, actually. Just one gets caught, though. A Widowmine at this location. Going to kill off that one Zealot there, so only one will make it towards that 3rd base. And ByuN making Ghosts, making Vikings is kind of already reaching that ultimate Terran composition, which is going to put him, I think, in a pretty solid spot, because when it comes to ByuN's ability to control Viking Ghost and his bio, I feel like that does surpass the ability of Zoun to micro disruptors, to use his stalkers to try and pick off Vikings, that kind of thing. And so I do like the way that this is actually looking for ByuN. The fact that he has managed to produce all these great units that are going to help him out. And then it's just a matter of waiting for an opportunity to present itself. The factory for ByuN is actually flying out, which means that we're done with Widow Mines and Siege Tanks this game. The 4th base, though, going to land for the Terran. And yeah, ByuN's not in a bad economic position compared to Zoun. I like his army. Upgrade-wise, ByuN's still going to have a lead as 2-2 on the way. Zoun's got 2-1 on the way. We see the Dark Shrine on the way for the Protoss. ByuN's already got a turret going up at his sort of ramp there to defend that location. He'll probably throw one up next to his planetary, as we all know how lethal those DTs can be. Let's see, a couple Archons on the way, taking their 9 seconds to morph in. Then we see, yeah, there's DT Blink on the way for Zoun. There we go, he's got his +2 armor on the way, much later than ByuN's, but that'll probably even out as the game goes on. And of course, disruptors don't really care about upgrades, but take a look at this army for ByuN. That is currently 9 Vikings against 3 Colossus. That's a pretty good number for the Terran. And ByuN, I was just about to say, it would be nice to see ship weapons. He's already got the +1, which really helps out. There's the first Nova going out. Zoun's going to start microing his army, but this is where ByuN's really going to start pressuring the Protoss. A scan actually goes down. ByuN by fluke, I think, catches that DT. I don't know if he actually saw that or not. If he saw that, that was so beautiful to see the shimmer and scan right away. He does catch it. That's a little bit of harassment off his back. The Protoss, though, moving out with his army, but this is 2-2 bio. So Zoun's got to be careful about bleeding off units. Like, no disruptors are with this section of his army. And the Protoss is actually moving out towards the natural of ByuN, but I don't know about this one. Zoun's going to be forced in a fight right now. If you're Zoun, you need to be firing up disruptors, because ByuN's going to be coming at him. He's coming at ByuN. It's going to be a base trade situation right now. ByuN going to want to produce as much as he can back at home, try and trade out with the Protoss army, all the while he's moving on in, trying to kill off the Protoss force as quick as he can. DTs are a tool for Zoun, but ByuN's got Ghosts, so he can EMP them. He can always scan too. Disruptors are the nice tool to defend back at home, but there's none here for Zoun. And ByuN is producing units on top of his ramp, so he is going to be able to pick off some of these Protoss units. We'll see how compromised his production does get. ByuN even starts Cloak amidst this chaos, having it as a tool for a potential base trade. Disruptor shots are great for Zoun, cleaning out the defenders in ByuN's base. That's a great play. The 4th base, planetary, needs to be repaired by ByuN. Is he going to repair it? ByuN, come on, repair that planetary. There he goes. He's repairing it. It's going to be so close whether it lives or dies. I think it's going to die, though, so a slightly late repair is costing ByuN a critical base. It's just staying alive, though. I don't know if it's going to hold on. These SCVs are just like, oh, this is fine, repair, but it does go down. It holds on for quite a while. All the while this is going on, though, ByuN cleaning out the main base of Zoun. His armory that was researched in his +3 attack is still alive. We'll see if that finishes. That'll be important. And his personal cloaking did just finish up, but boy, oh boy, is this game getting chaotic. ByuN's actually lost pretty much all of his bases. No, he has lost all of his orbital commands. Does he have any SCVs left? He's got 9 SCVs. He's got a couple running around the map. He did get one into the main base of Zoun, so he does have that as an option to play out this base trade, but by God, this game is heating up. Army supply dead even right now. ByuN not rebuilt his base, so he's going to be losing that. He's going to feel the pressure. We see these cannons picking off a couple of Terran units. That's not insignificant. This Nexus is going to go down. Medivac healing up this army, but yeah, I mean, we will see this game come down to one final big fight, it would seem. It's just not likely that either player is going to be able to rebuild from this position, although ByuN does have a very high mineral count. If he can even throw up like 6 gates, warp in a couple of rounds of zealots, that will drastically turn the tide of this. He's supply blocked into oblivion though, so he's going to need a lot of pylons, but that's definitely an option he should consider. Those zealots are not insignificant. Yeah, now let's take a look here. The Observer for ByuN on top of ByuN's army. ByuN can't scan kill that off, but he can drop an EMP. But here we see the Protoss moving out. He wants to force a fight against ByuN. ByuN doesn't have scans to deal with this or anything. I mean, he doesn't see this army coming till now. ByuN getting on top of him. EMPs go down, but Disruptors don't care about EMPs. Vikings getting FaceTime with the Colossus. Great EMPs, though, from ByuN, but he's eaten the huge Disruptor shots. The Vikings shred through the Colossus. They're going to land in the fight right now. The few Marauders left are going to put out a lot of damage. Is there any Novas left? I'm not too sure. It's just the few Stalkers left for ByuN. This is actually absurdly close. The Disruptor's waiting to recharge, but ByuN's going to have to micro as well as he can. He lifts up into the Medivac at a last second, saves those units. He's going to unload his force, but, oh man, ByuN still feeling the pressure right now. There's the gateways going up. I mean, of course, this game has reached a crazy situation. But if ByuN had got those gates up earlier, he could already have some reinforcing zealots and he'd have won this game. ByuN, though, going to make things uncomfortably close. Microing with his Medivac, lifting and unloading units against the Disruptors. There's like 2 Stalkers left, 1 Stalker left. ByuN loading up the last of his units into his Medivac. Probes being pulled against this. It's really the 1 Marauder and the 1 Viking doing all the work here. It's a matter of time until those gateways finish up. ByuN just microing. The Viking can actually be repaired, though, by these Medivacs, so it's really on this 1 Marauder against all 4 Disruptors here. ByuN's going to have to micro this rather well. ByuN waiting till he can morph in more units. ByuN lifts up the units that he has. Disruptor shots going out. ByuN just has to keep lifting, and he's doing it. He's picking off the Disruptors. There's going to be Zealots warping in just a second here, though. ByuN is going to be able to micro against those. Can he target them down or anything? The answer is not yet, but he can keep microing that Marauder. This is actually just ridiculously close. 19 supply to 19 supply. ByuN throws up more gateways, though. ByuN has started to build depots back at home, realizing that this game is not over just yet. I mean, this is ridiculous, but as the Zealot count grows, it's going to become problematic for ByuN. He wants that Disruptor, remove that unit, which has killed probably a lot of his forces. Yeah, 8 of his own units. The Marauder does pick it off. He can now load into the Medivac, and of course, ByuN with the mobility will be able to make plays here, saving that Viking. And oh my god, ByuN starts to make Marines on the high ground with his barracks. He threw up a couple of depots. This is going to completely change things. He throws a bunker up on the high ground. Great last minute reaction there by ByuN. ByuN's not mining. He's warped in as many Zealots as he can. The SCVs are coming in with this. The few Marines that were produced are kind of stranded. But now all of a sudden, ByuN's down here. He loses one of the Viking, though. That's a large portion of the DPS. The Marauder goes down, and oh, with the Marauder dying, that is it. What a game, though. By God, that was nutty. Holy cow. Yeah, the fact that ByuN decided to go up that ramp at the end there and prevented ByuN from getting up a small portion of bio was huge. And then just getting the Marauder obviously was it. ByuN, of course, also managed to force some 4 Stalkers during all that, but what a game. That was nuts. Maybe ByuN, if he started building those units sooner, threw up those depots sooner, much like how ByuN could have thrown up those gateways sooner, things would have been a little bit different, spent his money, but that was actually just a ridiculous climax to a game. And like I said, it was scrappy, but boy oh boy was that beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed the cast, leave a like, join the Discord, which is linked down below, consider becoming a member, and yeah, subscribe if you made it all the way to the end of the video, and join the Bell Gang, which is linked, of course, that bell icon. I'll see you next time. My name is LaughNgamez. Thanks so much for watching.